Alrighty, folks, we have the man, myth, the legend back from a 2-week hiatus. We got Matt, the mortgage guy. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, Mike. How you doing?
I'm doing well. So I don't know if you've heard, but since you were gone, Olivia and I put a house in contract in Las Vegas. It is a new build. We certainly tried to buy an existing home, but the numbers simply didn't work. The new construction was a better deal. And interestingly enough, the builder offered to buy our rate down to 4.99 30-year fixed. So I thought we should talk about what that means, how builders are able to do that, and then talk about how an existing home seller might be able to do that or something like it, because I don't think a lot of people realize that is an option you have. So, what is a rate buy down? Why can a builder do this? Why is it so powerful?
Yeah, I mean, I think first I'll start with the new build stuff. I've said it. I've been preaching it, and people should feel the authenticity of what I say when I say, hey, listen, go out to new builders, get these great incentives that, like, more often than not, they only offer if you use their in-house lending because it's what's best for you. And there's a lot of people in my position. Here's a big, tranche of pre-approvals, and here's all these new build incentives around. People are utilizing that as they should, right? As a home buyer, like, I have conversation after conversation. What's best for you and your family might not always be doing business with us.
Yeah.
If it is, I'll tell you so. And so new builders, to your point, have a lot of tools in their tool bag, and they utilize them because they don't want to lower sales price. That's going to hurt what they can sell homes for in the future. So if they buy a tranche of mortgages and they can offer an incentive to not only, like, do they have this tranche at a lower rate, but they also have the ability to throw a couple points at it and get you down to 499. The Zuber family wins, which is great.
Absolutely.
Other people can do the same. And so what you want to do is you want to, go out there and see what you can get, cross-check it, go to greatmortgagebroker.com, contact me and my team. We'll look at it. I just had a couple, like a real estate agent buddy and another client, Tri-Point Homes. They're offering massive amount of incentive where I wouldn't let somebody do business with us, because, like, they're only going to get that incentive using the in-house lender. You must do that, right? We're happy to talk about refinance 12 or 18 months from now, if that makes sense. But, there's these incentives from the builders, and, generally speaking, it's going to be just a permanent buy down, right? Yours is just 30-year fixed 499.
30-year fixed 499. I actually asked them, because I knew we have this channel, right? So I asked them, like, what's this going to cost you? Because it's not free. They don't just get to wave a magic wand and say it's 499. They estimated that it's going to cost them 5 points.
Wow.
5 points. So again, what is a point? So take the mortgage loan, call it 500 grand just for easy math. That's $25,000. So they sold me a price at X. They're basically taking 25 grand out of X and buying it down. That's something they're doing. And again, with their lender. So
right. Yeah. And I think that, like, this is something I want to add here, which I probably haven't said yet, but there's no guarantee that rates go down.
Correct.
We think that they're going to follow inflation, but what if rates over the next 24 to 36 months go down to the high fives, but don't ever get down to 499?
Yeah.
Right. Like, people are making some assumptions, and I don't want to, mislead somebody being like, oh, hey, 18 months from now, rates are gonna be in the mid fours. We'll refinance you to that then. Like, people who can set it and forget it with a mortgage, like, the fact that the builder, is saying, I want to keep my price here, like, you are going to win exponentially paying the price with a 499 rate versus 25,000 off that price. So the builder wins. Yeah. You as a consumer win. Everybody wins. And so, you can, on a resale home, the thing about the resale homes is there's rules with how many points can be purchased, right? And so literally can't do that. Like, the new build can do it, right?
3, I think, or 2.
Yeah, and it varies, like primary residence versus investment property. but generally like 2 or 3 points will be the max. What I'm seeing
that the seller could kick in.
Right. And even if you wanted to as a buyer, you couldn't spend 5 points.
Oh, okay.
Like there's a high cost loan like analysis where it'll just fail and then it'll like can't
kick
sell
out
the loan. So you wouldn't be able to do it. The builder can do it like internally.
Yeah, they're doing it as an operational cost. They're actually not, it won't say buying points on the spreadsheet. It'll be some operational mismatch something. So the other thing, because I knew we were going to talk, is I asked what the floor rate was. The floor rate was 4.25. So I said, okay, great. You're going to get me to 4.99. What would it cost me to get to 4.25? Because again, like you just said, what if rates are never below 5 for a decade? I'm like, I got this one shot to lock in 4.25. So the first answer was to get to 4.25, it would cost me 20 grand. And if you do the math on my loan, that's an 8.5-year payback. I said, no, thank you.
Yeah.
Then I said for 4.5, it was like 12 grand and I think it was like 11-year payback or something. And then I said, okay, 4.75, it was actually only 5 grand. And it was something like 4.5 years. So I'm like, never mind. I'll take the 10 grand that you gave me on top of this for closing costs and use it for closing costs. So not only did I get a 4.99, but I got 10 grand to spend how I saw fit. My thought was to spend it on rate buy down to go lower, but the math didn't work.
Right. Yeah. And that's the thing too, is I'll say it, again, for the people in the back, every single purchase is unique.
Yes.
Every single buyer, every single home, your credit score, your down payment, what's available. And so you can't just say, what's my rate? And pick up a phone. And like, that's the beauty of working with a professional. One thing I don't want to forget to mention is what we're talking about here is permanent buy down. There's a cost, and Mike's done the analysis that, the cost between this rate and that rate costs this. It'll take this much time to break even. We do that analysis all the time. Everybody can do that, whether the seller pays, whether you pay. If rates are at 7 and it costs you 1.5 points to get to 6.25, costs you 2 points to get to 5.75, whatever that number is, you can do that analysis. And that's permanently buying it down, 30-year fixed rate money. What I'm seeing, Mike, all of a sudden, I've got like 3 of these going right now, is a little bit of the return of the 1.0 buy down, the 2.1 buy down, the 3.2.1 buy down.
I've seen that. Yeah.
And the kind of interesting part to me is at 500,000, at 700,000 at entry level, we just can't get the seller credits. There's too much,
Too much demand. Yeah.
Too much demand. You're competing too much. But I've got one where we got enough credits on a duplex at 1.2 million, where we'll give you the 1.2. We need 60,000 in credit. And so we use the 60,000 to do a 3-2-1 buy down.
Oh, nice.
299, 399, 499, and then years 4 through 30, 599.
There you go.
And so, this person who's an investor living in one side, renting out the other, whatnot, like 2.99 for the first year is when you're borrowing $1 million.
Yeah.
The rate matters.
Yeah, I would say so.
And so, so I want people to remember that and just be aware that like, that's the game we're playing right now, is how to structure the debt. In a market that feels tight and there's not a lot of inventory and you feel like you can't find a deal, the deal is in the debt structure, in my opinion.
I agree.
Talk to a professional. Greatmortgagebroker.com is a great place to start. And, get your head, honed in on how am I going to structure this? Because what happens sometimes too, Mike, is people don't think about it till after they're in contract. Yeah. Well, if I would have told you, offer 652 and get 12,000 in credit, we can structure a lot better mortgage than you thinking you got a deal at 640. Same for the seller. Net, they get the same. So they don't care. But if we don't know it going in, it looks funky when we try to write an addendum. Just kidding. We're paying this higher number and this much in credit, right? Like, that can mess up all kinds of stuff.
I think someone need, if you're interested, you're trying to do the work now, the market's tight. I think the math matters, the cost of money, the rate structure. I think they need to work with folks like you. One more time, where should they go to reach out and see if you can help them?
Sure. Quick and easy form at greatmortgagebroker.com.
Awesome, buddy. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Mike.